It may not be pretty, it may not be right good, but we're gonna be doing it, okay? We're gonna do FlossTube 4. Now, borrowed the first part of that line from the Full Monty, which we will not be doing. That's not this kind of channel. This is not a only floss. Only floss? Only floss. I guess that would be the one. But no, this is just FlossTube 4. It's been 3 months since I updated my last one. I made a liar of myself again. Oh, I'm not surprised. I said I would do one in another month, and I didn't. But what can you expect? But if you're here, we've got lots of WIPS, more WIPS than one would ever need, and some finishes and some fun life updates that's going on with me. My name is Jess. Spring Heeled Stitches is my handle here on YouTube as well as Instagram and Threads if you want to give me a follow. It's pretty much the same stuff all the time. Today it's June 5th. Happy Father's Day to everyone. I hope you had a good day, whatever your circumstances is, well, with fathers or just hanging out with friends or people who have become family to you. And it's June 15th, so I think I said it was June 5th. Well, it's June 15th. It really is June 15th. And if you live in America, like me, what a week. What a week it's been. So cross stitching kind of calms us down and makes us a little bit more zen. So that's what I've been trying to do, even though it's kind of been a really crazy June so far, and will continue to be a crazy summer. But we'll go through there. I'll show you some WIPs, talk about some life updates of mine, and why don't we just get started? So you're going to see me pop off and down because it's absolute chaos below here, not just like, my body, my broken body, but I'm also the floor of my office. So I'm going to start off with a first WIP, which I didn't even put down there. I put it behind me. Way to go. So this is, I'm going to try to bring that here. The Paris Opera House. It is a kit by Rollis. So it is full Paris Opera House with the carriage and stuff like that. I've been eyeing this kit forever. I bought it I think about a year ago, and I worked on it off and on. It's not much to look at because we are mostly doing clouds right up there. I decided to go block by block, but now I got a little bit bored with that, so I actually started doing the building. This looks really pretty. I want to finish this, put this on a big old frame over my bed to make it look gaudy and Victorian like it should. I am a huge fan of the opera fan, so Paris Opera, the Place Garnier, is absolutely gorgeous building. I admire it for many reasons. And this is the first time working on the printed fabric. I can't remember what it's called, sorry. I'll explain why I'm losing my mind later. But the first life update is we got a dog, a new dog. So our older dog passed away last summer, and we have been thinking about getting a new dog. And I mostly said I wanted to get a dog to be a companion to my other dog because he's my little shadow. He's just there all the time. He's thankfully not in the room right now, otherwise you'd hear him snoring. But that is usually the sound that happens when I'm stitching in this room, is him snoring. So I said, I'll get another dog and they'll be buddies, and then I won't have this little dog tripping over me. Well, now I have two shadows because they really both love me. So his name is Dipper, and he's a puppy. Gosh gravy, it's very hard to, there we go. Now it's straight. Ooh. Making people sick to their stomach. So he is a poodle and Cocker Spaniel mix. We got him as a puppy from our local Humane Society. He is a delight, but this is my first time with a puppy. He's about 6-7 months old, so he's not like baby puppy, but still very, very frisky puppy, and he loves threads. So I have been extra diligent in cleaning up my stuff because I haven't had to do that in a long while. My current pug, Mo, he does not care about threads or eating things. Dipper loves threads, and he definitely loved this big old pile of threads from the kit. Caught it in his mouth several times, and this kit is the Rollis. All the instructions are in Russian. I have no clue what the color conversion is, so I'm guarding these threads and this project with my life. Because if he actually did eat them, hopefully he wouldn't get sick, and then I don't know if I would have the gumption to buy the kit again and start over again. So we've kind of moved on from clouds into the building. I worked on this on a WIPGO number. This was a 7-day, and I enjoyed working on it, so I kept going for a couple more days. So that's my first WIP of this parade with the Paris Opera House. Moving on, we're still going to stay in Paris, though. Let's see if I remembered where it was. Oh, right here at the bottom of the pile. Just, ignore the man behind the curtain. All right, so you saw this one last time. This was on my WIPGO number, and this was the circle cross blackwork piece of the Notre Dame Cathedral with the Hunchback of Notre Dame motif, which I actually did finish up. I think last time we were missing some feet and hands here, and I got over here to the edge, and then I kind of met my challenge here. This window, I don't know why it just terrifies me to do it, because I have to get all of these long stitches and hopefully line it up, and it looks like it's off. It's frightening me, but I have hope because I somehow did it once over here. So, and I've done it here, but it's got like, this one's okay, but this one has little cherubs and extra stuff in it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm terrified. I'm terrified I'm going to mess it up. And then I did some more down here. Kind of took the easy road out because I wanted to work on this for 7 days. This was a WIPGO number. So I worked on this as well. And then I gave it up. And I don't know, my plan was to finish this and then do 2025 temperatures in it. I don't know if I'm even feeling 2020. First of all, let's see if we even get it finished. It is a testament of the will. That's the brown blackwork is actually not the biggest problem. It's that those rose windows, I think they took me 3 hours, something ridiculous, 3 hours to do. And they don't seem like complicated, but you just have to make sure that everything is on point. And of course I did this in Ada because, I past Jess, she's a mean person who messes up my future projects. So, that's going to be the challenge. Is not only do I want to, I said this last time, I'm going to rip this one out because I did it in 2 colors, 2 strands of floss, and it looks awful. Looks so much better. Try to see. You can take a look. Just you can see how much the detail comes out in the one strand. And I feel like it would also be easier to work. But so I have to take out this window and then do the all 11 windows. So not only do I finish the frame, but then do the 11 windows. The colors are the easy part. So I just don't know. Maybe I'm feeling that 2026 I want to put the colors in. I don't think I'm going to do it for 2004. I think that's just kind of, that ship has sailed. But we don't know. And as we're talking about, we'll talk about Phantom. Hunchback is another one of my favorite things. I'll share the quick story about how I kind of got into that. My mom bought me the, if I remember, Great Illustrated Classics books. If you remember those books, they were abridged classics, and they had a drawing on one side and then big black and white text on the other. They came from the bookstore with the big red text on the thing. So my mom we went to a store, we bought a bunch of them, and we got the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And it was an abridged kids version, but it actually did tell the whole story. It did not kidify it. So I read that book. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. I then asked my mom for any, Hunchback of Notre Dame movies. And we found some. And then, of course, what happened is that was 4th or 5th grade. In the 6th grade, Disney made their animated feature. So I was like super, nerding, fangirling before I even know what that was. So I was very excited about that. I actually had Barbies beforehand that has Esmeralda and Quasimodo, but I didn't really, like, I had Ken, he's not a Quasimodo. So I had that before and it's playing, so then I was like, no, now I get merch. Now I get a whole Disney movie. And then, of course, I might have been like one of the very few children watching the Disney movie going like, that's not the real story. That's not the real story of Hunchback of Notre Dame. Spoiler, it doesn't end well, as in the middle of this crotch stitch shows. Ends tragically. But of course, it's Disney. It's not going to be tragic. But another fun thing that I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed if you are either a Disney adult or a parent who has a Disney Plus subscription and watches a lot of Disney movies, there are many Disney movies from the Disney Renaissance and earlier, and they're all rated G. Obviously, something has happened in the last 20 plus years where they're changing the rating system for kids. But The Hunchback of Notre Dame is rated G. And when it starts off, it says in the corner of the screen, rated G for tobacco use. Tobacco use. Because there's a scene where one of the gargoyles smokes a cigar. So rated G. Gotta caution you, there's tobacco use in here. There's also a judge who is lusting after a woman and swears that he's going to kill her if she doesn't have him. He also then sets a barn on fire with people inside. After the hero breaks out, both folks out of the barn, he shoots them. The whole city is on fire, but you know what it is? It's rated G for tobacco use. So if next time you're pulling up a Disney classic, either from the Renaissance or older, see what they put as the warning label, like rated G for something like that. Because now it's mostly PG for thematic violence, and I get it. Some of this stuff, I'm grown now, so it doesn't bother me. But I was freaked out by many Disney films when I was younger, so I could see items like today, like I want to say like Marshmallow from Frozen. I mean, it doesn't scare me, but that could scare some little kids, or King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph. I could see the warnings needed there, but I just kind of crack up that the Disney version of Hunchback of Notre Dame is rated G for tobacco use. So, but that's Notre Dame Winnow. Let's see, it hasn't come back up on the WIPGO chart. So it's either going to get called or I'm going to have the burning desire to keep going on. I swear this was 7 days of work. So let's go on to the next one. All right, so this is one, I don't know if I've shown it off, but I've been working on it. It was another WIPGO number. Let me pull it off from the pile. This is Silo Witches. Ooh. I can't see myself, so maybe you can see it. It's got this wild psychedelic color, so I think it's warning if you don't like orange or obnoxious colors. But I bought this with my mom on a tour to stitch 2 years ago. We thought, oh, we'll do it together. We found like the same fabric, and we started it. Please ignore the fact that I don't measure, and I got panicky because I wasn't thinking it was going to fit, so I basically did the top row really quickly to make sure that I had enough room. And there's enough room there. There's like, I think my finger. I know, I have really short fingers, so I don't know if that's a good indication that we'll have enough to finish this. But I started it, and I was going pretty good. My mom has finished it. She's retired. She can put in like 1,000 stitches a day. So no surprise there. Let me show you what it's supposed to look like. I'm not a big sampler person, but I really saw this design and love it. So it's a Silo Witches Quaker. So it has witches and cats, obviously, but we've got lots of owls, bats, this cute little cheeky pumpkin guy here behind the tree. This was it's supposed to be 8 1/4 by 8 inches on 40 count. Yes, 40 count linen. So I would recommend to get that 40 count linen if you're comfortable with that. I don't recall what this was. I think we found it in another store and it was on sale and there were 2 pieces of it. So we decided to get it. And if you want to do 2/1 or 1/1 to make it smaller, this is definitely bigger than I believe anticipated. And the issue is we're using the called for colors, and it says in the instructions that you only need 3 of the main color, which is swamp water. And those 3 skeins of swamp water went pretty fast. So my mom did me a solid, ordered a bunch for her to finish and then a bunch for me. So working on this one, we're just kind of going down here to the bottom. Gotta get these cats. This is pretty much another idea of me practicing on linen and getting more comfortable with it. Also challenging me to count, because that's probably my crutch with Ada, is it's much more easier to count. Linen, you really have to pay attention. I also have to work in really good light for this. Despite it being orange, it can be really tricky to see those holes. And of course I had to, like, put it right obnoxiously in the middle of this tie-dye, because why not? So that is Witches. Like to take that and, make a good effort on that to get it finished. I think we're about 30%. So we've got a ways to go. But my life update with this piece, I forgot I'm talking about my life. Me and my friends did a fundraiser. Now, we have done this fundraiser for 6 years. It is a charity video game stream called Meal Memorial Madness. So if I can share a little bit of a history with that. One of our friend group always had a Memorial Day picnic. Had it forever, had it in the park. It was just the tradition to come to the park, have a picnic, hang out. Obviously, 2020 put the kibosh on that. So the idea they had is, let's do a video game stream. And we did it all remotely. We remoted in through the Discord, and we saw how much money we raised. We raised about $3,000 for a 12-hour video game screen. So that was great. So we decided, well, let's do it again. And do it again. And do it again. And make it bigger. And make it longer. So it has now become, a project of love. Jarbachoff is the game runner for that, and Silver Marquise is also the game runner. They are fabulous people. They put hundreds of hours into doing this stream. We play family style, more kind of like family style middle of the road games. Do have a little bit of like fun stuff in the overnight. So that you can watch some cool stuff. We've got some great gamers who've done The Last of Us and Helldivers 2, lots of other cool things. I've played games. I've done stitching on the stream. I did a lot of hosting this year, which was lots of fun. My kids and my husband played games. So that was super cool. And we raised this year's total $9,870 going to Feeding America. And we're at this point in society where it feels really difficult to be, optimistic about things. So we do these small things to come together, and we had a blast doing it. So the point, yes, we're playing games, we're having fun, we're low on sleep, we're doing all this crazy stuff. But we're making a difference. So we played 36 hours stream. That's straight streaming. We had the highest watch time on our Twitch channel this year. It was twice the amount of last year's numbers. And since we've been doing this for Feeding America, we did have 2 years where we were doing it for the local food bank. But since we've been doing this for Feeding America, we've raised over $45,000 for Feeding America. And folks, we need it in this time. Your grocery bills are going up, and with this stuff is happening, but we realize that there are people who need so much more help and are not getting it, and are actually getting their benefits and their lifelines threatened. So if we can do a little bit of help, I mean, that's great. And through it I kind of thought of the quote from Gandalf and the Hobbit about when they ask why the Hobbit, and it says Sauron thinks that stuff thrives on fear and power, and that's how it is, but you find hope in the small people and the little things they do, and it's like, that's why Bilbo Baggins, and that's why I chose Bilbo Baggins, and that's why he brings me hope. So we're doing our small things. We're being Bilbo Baggins, facing dragons and evil the best we can. So That is Scylla Witches. That is our fundraiser. We do it every Memorial Day. Probably should have done this before Memorial Day, but I was kind of busy getting the stream ready. So if you want to check that out, it is the number 4 score, number 7 Pongs, Pongs. I spell it for myself, not for you guys. You can find them on Twitch and also on YouTube. The VODs will be up if you want to go watch some cool stuff that we've been doing. Check it out, and hopefully I'll remember to put a reminder up next year around this before this time, so you can come see it and see what we're happening there. It's a great time if you want to just come and obviously share that we're doing it. Really helps us out. So it's Scylla Witches. Fold that up, toss it back on the pile. A new start, but still a WIP. I love this piece. I really want to finish it sooner rather than later. It's a punch your local Nazis. Oh, am I political? I'm sorry if you didn't like gather from my face and my office and maybe some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth. Yeah, this is not a pro NZ channel. But this is by, I'm going to butcher her name. I'm very sorry. And Citru, she has a shop, I believe a Big Cartel shop. So if you're looking for her stuff, it is not on Etsy. And the fantastic thing about this piece, besides the message, is there's all this florography, I'm saying everything wrong, about her pieces. So they're, your standard fun wreath pieces, but with fun sayings in the bottom. I mean, that's, I love it. I know it's done a lot in cross-stitch design, but this is different and I enjoy it. So each of the flowers has a meaning. I borrowed it from their website. Geraniums mean stupidity. Gladiolas, ready arm, strength of character. Butterfly weed, leave me or you've been worn. Tansy, I declare war on you. Orange lilium, hatred, revenge. Lotus cornicatus, I'm probably messing that up, revenge. And Trifolium pratensis, I promise revenge. What a great bouquet to get someone you don't like. I'm going to try to see, I don't know how good the lighting is with my camera. There is, the way they have done this pattern is instead of the black lines that you usually kind of see, we have this very vibrant blue. I think we've got I'm trying to remember. 550 is the purple, 512 is the blue. So it's turning out really nice. Probably just much better in person than on camera. And I'm working through this. Obviously, I had a little miscounting error because, past Jess, she put a 9 grid instead of a 10 grid. What is past Jess? She's just ruining everything. And so my life event with this one is I've been going to protests this year, and they've been a blast. I've taken my kid and their friend. We've made some cool signs. Yesterday we did Pride, so I was marching Pride with my work. And man, there is no parade like a Pride parade. I felt like I was like Mickey Mouse or Ariel, like on a float down Magic Kingdom. People like, oh my gosh, wave, wave. And I'm like, you're wonderful and you're beautiful and happy Pride. It's just so crazy. There's like, there's no holiday parade like it. I mean, there's singing and cheering and stuff like that in your local holiday parades, like if you know people, but this is just like a mile and a half of people cheering and shouting and so much energy. So it's just great to have that joy, whether it's for pride or in protest, bringing that joy and that energy into this, wretched timeline. And just don't forget, punch your local Nazis. It's okay. I ain't seen nothing. If you do it in front of me, I ain't see nothing. I didn't see nothing happen. I didn't see nothing. Yeah. So, punch your local Nazis. Great patterns. That is... That's a true... I'm sorry for messing up your name. But they're on Big Cartel. They also do one that says, like, I'm not cute. I'm autistic, with a really cute pattern Super fun. So check out their stuff. All right, going down the line. Oh gosh, here's a big one. So if you're wondering why I'm rambling about, Lord of the Rings, what are you, a nerd? Yes. Hey. I don't know if I've ever shown this one on the FlossTube, and gosh golly, I'm gonna take it out of the hoop for you. Gonna do it live. So this came up on my WIP Go, and this was a pandemic start stitch, which needs to be finished or needs to be left to my will. So, this is I Am No Man. It is from the Sprite Stitch forum. The person from Sprite Stitch actually got the permission for the artist who did all of those Lord of the Rings stained glass patterns that you might have seen on the internet, got the permission from them to make the pattern, and just the caveat was just give it away free to the people here, don't sell this. I have seen people finish these patterns, and I have seen the opposite crappy pattern mill ones on Etsy that probably do not have enough colors. This is lots. There's lots of colors. Lots of so many colors. I'm so tired of doing the City of Contour, but it's in the entire thing. I'll try to see if I can remember to get a picture up, but I started it over here and went through the top couple pages. So we've got Gandalf and the Nazgul. We get into the towers. We then have the funeral, not funeral, of Faramir over here. And then I went back and I started doing the towers, and this is where I kind of ran out of steam a couple years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, there's just, I have to do it. We're so far into it, and I'm gonna just stick with it because I know we have, the integrity of the person who got this from the artist and not a pattern mill. But now we got the fireballs into it, and so I started here, and we did not have a tower or anything. Oh goodness, it's very big. It's super long. So we did not have a tower here when we started. Now we have a tower. I swear to God, that was 7 days of work. So again, I don't know how people do several Heaven and Earth designs or giant full coverage cross stitches at once. Bless you. I really want to finish this, but it's 64 pages. I think I'm on page 13. Hopefully when we get through these towers and everything, we're going to get into Eowyn and the Nazgul King, which is mostly the same greens for her cape and then purples for him, so we've got a lot of that. But then, of course, at the bottom, we get to more of these motifs. So we have Aragorn and the army of the undead, and then Saruman's forces, so it's going to be more confetti up here. But it got called, and so I had to answer this WIP Go number and start on I Am No Man. And we're going to keep chugging along because it's long. This is how I keep it, just sadly bundled like a weird cheesecloth thing at the bottom. I've tried this in a big stand-up frame. I've done like a giant long Q-snap, but right now I just kind of have it in my big nerd hoop, and I work on that. I've also been trying to do some sort of parking with this. I tried regular parking. I did try to do diagonals, and now I'm just doing the towers thing, which makes sense because we got towers. Lord of the Rings. So I'm doing the tower method where, let me just put it back on the hoop really quick. Yeah, I don't try to park with like a bunch of threads. I just feel that I have a bad habit of catching them and pulling them. I also will say that I cheat, and when I see that there's only like 1 or 2 colors left in a block, but they're similar to the other ones, I just use what I already have. Sorry. But okay. Oh my goodness. But basically, I go down 10 blocks, do the blocks. Actually, I do by 20. So I'll do 2 blocks of 10, do all the colors all the way down, and then park them on the bottom. And then if I see that I need it in the next 2 blocks over here, I'll park it up there and keep it on my way, or just keep it down here at the bottom. That's kind of working a little bit better for me. But gotta have steam, gotta have faith, gotta carry that ring to Mordor, Frodo, and finish this piece. Or maybe I'll have a Samwise pick it up for me and say, I'll carry it for you. We'll see. If I finish this, this will be a family heirloom. You cannot get rid of it. Sorry. So, to any future grandchildren, can't get rid of this. So that is I Am No Man. Alright, next whip. Oh my goodness. It's in a bag. It's in a bag. It's in a great bag that I got from the Golden Familiars. It is Ghostbusters. We are a Ghostbuster house. My husband adores Ghostbusters. My daughter adores Ghostbusters. I go along with the ride with Ghostbusters because it's a good movie. But I've got this great bag from the Golden Familiars. Oh, there's goodness gracious. Golden Familiars, little scissor fob. I didn't put on my scissors, but it says Stitch Witch. Just say it says Stitch Witch. But it's exciting. This is one of a kind. I feel bad about sharing this because you can't get this pattern. But I'm going to share it with you anyway. I went to the Witchy Stitcher Retreat. So excited. And this was the pattern that all of the retreat members got. I'm really excited about this needleminder, which also comes from the Golden Familiars. I have been looking for a Ouija needleminder forever. Like they're always sold out. I think I ordered one from the Silver Needle, and they like sent me a thing saying, "Oh, we're so sorry. It was marked on stock on the website, but it was sold out. We didn't charge you for it." I'm like, I just want one because I have the planchette. I have the planchette that was on my I Am No Man, but I don't have the board. But Renee of the Golden Familiars had them, and they made them custom for everyone here. So the Ouija board is over my name. Over my initial of J for Jess, if you wish to summon me. But I was really excited. I had seen it's the cross. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. Oh my gosh, Cross Stitch Society? Probably wrong. But they held the Witchy Stitcher Retreat. I saw that they did one in Disneyland, which looks exciting, but I will be frank, I would not fly across the country to go sit in a convention hall and know that Disneyland is there. I'd be Disneyland all days. Nothing personal against anyone who wouldn't do that. And so they did this one in Detroit, and I was excited because it was close to me. But at the same time, I wanted to explore Detroit. I have been through Detroit. I have been to the areas around it, but I've never been to Detroit proper. So I went with my mom, and so not only did we stitch and make friends and had a great time, I also dragged her all around downtown Detroit, and she's a real sport for that. Found some great places to eat. There was this French pastry shop that we went to, so good, went to it twice because we knew we could get a good pastry and a good coffee. And that's all we really needed to keep us going. Fantastic. We got there, and we didn't know any of our, my mom is my stitchy friend, and I have other stitchy friends who I've met in local circles here in my hometown, but we didn't know anyone who was going from our inner group there. So we sat down, kind of said like, hey, come here, if you don't have a table with friends. And great bunch of gals, so much fun. And it's just great people because you could sit there and what the vibe of people who like witchy stitcher patterns are. The vibe, so you can talk freely, be yourself, and discuss things that are going around and how you feel about things, and not have to watch your mouth about it. Because I know people go to retreats sometimes. You might just be in that situation where you're not sure how the other folks feel, politically, academically, kind of stuff. And this was great to just talk about. So, watch movies, got lots of stitching in. I worked about 4 patterns, but then I just picked up this one and I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. This is so much fun. So we got the little ghosts with the watermelon. They're all eating watermelon. It's gonna say Summerween. Some palm trees. So I'm gonna hopefully get this one finished because it's a vibe. It's Summerween now. We're not even in summer yet, but already ready for August and September and October. All the good times. Fun fact: if you're from the Midwest and you have a Menards, my Menards, we were shopping for patio furniture the other day, and it says go upstairs to the mezzanine to get the patio furniture. So we go upstairs to the place where there's just bare wood floors and stuff, and we can't find the patio furniture we're looking for, but we do find the off-season merchandise. So over there is a whole rack of Christmas, St. Patrick's Day, and Halloween. And so we go over to Halloween like, oh, look how cool. And then we spot the Ecto 1 light up car with Slimer coming out, the inflatable. And it was marked down. And I know how much those stinking cars go for because every time I feel like I'm going to buy one for Halloween, I go, I'm going to pay $250 for something that sits in my lawn and lights up. No way. It was on sale for $80. And my husband saw it and I said, get it. Get it. Happy Father's Day. Happy birthday. That's for you. So if you have a Menards and you're looking around and it just happens to be June, go check upstairs, see what they have. And it's all the seasonal stuff. It's not like, the expired food or anything like that. So they had plenty of leftover stuff that would be perfectly acceptable to put out next Halloween. So they have it up there and it's marked down. So grab it. I just grabbed the inflatable. Could have grabbed more, but we're already buying patio furniture. And if you've ever been to Menards or Lowe's or Home Depot, you know how it is. You go in, they get one screw, and then, $500 later, you're walking out with a new project. So this is Summerween by the Witchy Stitcher. This is a retreat exclusive. So unless you're a buddy, that is not going to be available to stitch. But she has so many other great ones. The Summer Sucks is another good one if you want to be in the Summerween vibe. And I got so much stuff in the Witchy Stitchers. I had this fabulous bag that someone gave me. I made needle minders for everyone out of pressed pennies. There's one here on the... these are fantastic because it's metal, and they work really well, so... But I made them for everyone at the retreat, and so I got around and got goodies from people, and this gal gave me this bag, and it's so cute, but then I didn't even realize it till later. They had made floss drops as well. Of course, now I can't find it. Look at those. I didn't even realize it till later. I'm like, oh my gosh, not that I have a bag, but I had a bunch of nice floss drops. And they have the spot so you can slide in the DMC label. And then they also have a big hole for the big floss and a little hole for just your little strand of floss. So that was so great. I don't know what your name was. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with me. Oh my gosh, I got so many fantastic flosses. Creeps and Ghouls, Night Stalker's Calling, Persephone by Colorways. I mean, how could I not? I snagged that purple from my mom. Sorry, not sorry. Lots of goodies, tons of, got this little pumpkin pattern, so I got some great floss to stitch it up now. I did the fabric exchange. So I had a really good one, but then someone snatched it from me. So I said, I love grays. So I'll snatch this gray one. So this is Be Stitch Me, and it's Jobelin, and it's 28 count. Never used this, but who knows what exciting things can happen for it. Also, let's see. I got a bookmark. I got a lovely bookmark. Fantastic. Elemental Ink is the username there. And I did the small exchanges, which I am dumb and I don't read directions. So I showed up with the little thing I had made, and they're like, you have to wrap it. I'm like, oh. So I wrapped it in like a manila envelope that I had already. And it sat there on the table with all these really nice bags, gift bags. And I'm like, I swear to gosh, it's a good one. So someone got it and they enjoyed it. It was the Quaker Owl. But I got 2 of these. So this is a Flossy Fox Tiny Apothecary by Jen, who was the person who made my small exchanges, and they made another one. So I've got a Witchy Stitcher planchette. All finished, all framed for me. So exciting. I wish I had a small exchange for the next one I'm doing, but it's a little bit too close to time. So I'm glad I did that. I'll read the and I of course also I put like my card of where it was from, but I didn't put the pattern like the fabric. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am terrible. So much cool stuff that we got. We also got this is from Audra TM, and this will be out at Nashville, but we got the preview for it for Halloween Puns, and I love this border. It has called for colors of the gentle art color, if you want to do that, or just your regular DMC. I love this border, and I love just the simplicity of this, and I think if you wanted to do the puns, you could, but I think you could maybe also, if you wanted to stitch something else that would fit, that would work out too. But it's Halloween puns. Eat, drink, and be scary. Halloween is here. Creeping it real. Keep calm and carry a wand. Gourd your candy with your life. Don't trust the pumpkins. They're seedy. So, but I mean, absolutely fabulous border work here as always. I have one of their patterns which I need to do, but you know I haven't because I have a million WIPs and not enough time. Also got a really cool pair of scissors for my table mates. Look, so much stuff. And you know that's another big update is I had a birthday and it was the big 4-0 and I got to celebrate it with the Witchy Stitcher gang in Detroit. And I didn't really need a birthday present after that because I had all that swag and I got to hang around stitching and then I got to go out and eat and walk around Detroit. So that was my birthday present for me. That was fantastic. I know people do sometimes cruises or Vegas trips, for the big one. And that's all I really needed. Was just hanging out with this great group of guys and gals, and enjoying stitching and chilling and having a lot of fun, and also just walking my poor mom around Detroit. So thanks for being a good sport, Mom, and getting your steps in with me. We definitely did steps before stitches in Detroit, so we can get our rings closed, and then not feel so bad about sitting around and stitching for hours. Okay, keep rolling along because we got one more WIP before we get to the finishes. And this is another new WIP. This is Lola Crow's Gothic Authors, and we're swinging it back to, again, Phantom of the Opera, which as you can see right here in the, oh my gosh, right here in this corner is Gaston Leroux. And I know that for me, when we talk about the famous Gothic authors, there's Poe and Stroker and Stevenson and all, but Gaston Leroux gets left out because he's only really done he's done many books, but the big hit book is Phantom of the Opera. I think Phantom of the Opera sometimes gets, pushed to the side. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm such a big fan of the Phantom of the Opera right over here. I don't know why you can see Robert Englund as the Phantom of the Opera behind me on my wall that I've had autographed. No, but so I saw this and I had to do it. I will say, I had FOMO from all of the Lola Crow stitches that they've been doing. It's the birds now, was the aquarium. They look gorgeous, but I'm just like, I just don't have time. And they look huge. This is coming together really fast. I will say about each one of these is about 2 hours. Well, the sun is setting at this point of night, so the lighting's going off. But so they're very small. I thought it would be larger, like the big frames of the aquarium, or also like the Gothic libraries, which I think are a little bit wider. But these are really kind of small, and I don't mind that. So I'm halfway done. I think I'm going to take this to my next cross stitch convention and maybe try to finish Ring a Bell. so I'm enjoying it. I grabbed it for Gaston Leroux, and I'm keeping everyone else, but there's only the one author, which is Radcliffe, which is The Mystery of Undolfo, which I don't think I've ever read, but maybe take it for a spin. So we've got her to do, we've got Mary Shelley, and then we've got Oscar Wilde and Edgar Allan Poe to finish the Gothic authors. All right, whew, got to the end. Another fun life event that also happened on my birthday is I became an auntie. My younger brother had his son, and I was very excited. And he came on my birthday, so I will always remember his birthday. And then I will be an insufferable aunt because I'll bring him to like the Chuck E. Cheese, and I'll be like, "Make this the best birthday ever because it's his birthday and my birthday." And I'm really excited. I've been a bonus aunt because my parents have partners and they have children from other relationships and they have children. So I've been a bonus aunt, but those kids have aunts and connections, stuff like that. So I don't need to, step up and, overtake that. So I'm still just like, another family member there. But now I get to be the auntie and I'm super excited. I'm super happy for them. So that was another great 40th birthday present. Even though I didn't do any work for it. So let's get some finishes. Oh boy. This was a whip last time. Now it's a finish. This is You Got This by the Artsy Housewife. I would suggest if you are doing it in 14 count like I did, because I'm basic and just grabbed what I had, that you might get, and you want to do the called for colors. I believe this was a little bit of the Gentle Artist and then also Classic Color Works. You might want to get an extra skein of this ochre, I believe the color is this dark blue, because we were playing some thread chicken towards the end. And I just didn't want to go to my local cross stitch shop and then find out they not have it. And I'm like, I just need like 40 stitches of this to finish. And then of course I had to like do some frogging. So instead of ripping it out, it was carefully extracting this. With this one, I decided to mark out where the coffee cup was, and then I did that on the diagonal because I wanted to do something cool, and I liked it. Posted Artsy Housewife gave me a nice comment on Instagram saying she appreciated the diagonal, and I'm like, I just wanted to do something kind of neat because it was such a big area of variegated thread. So You Got This. I love it. It's my owl. It's my coffee cup. What else could I need? So that's first finish. Finish number 3. Lots of laughs, especially since now I'm 40. Screaming Heart. Design. Please be patient with me. I am from the 1900s. This is up. I stole it from my office at work, but this is up on my door at work. And it gets lots of laughs. And now it really is because at my work, we're finally getting into the point where our newer hires can be born in the 2000s. So I work in a law firm. At this point, you're looking at law clerks who are probably going to be the youngest people who are hired. So you're thinking kids who have, young adults who have already done 4 years of schooling and now are in law school. But those kids are born in the 2000s. So I'm enjoying this. I enjoyed making this, and it's getting lots of laughs. And it is my statement piece for the office. But please be patient with me. I'm from the 1900s. I tried so hard to find a rectangle hoop to go with this. I mean, I guess I should have, if I just didn't grab 14 count because I'm lazy and grabbed what I had in my, and maybe grabbed a smaller count, I could have. But I tried and tried and tried, and then I just went, whatever. Fits in this hoop. It works with me. Fantastic. So, my last piece for you guys to finish. Big one. I'm so happy. This is my. What side is it? This is my potion bottles from 2023. And like I said, I started this along with the Notre Dame one. And so I'm going to do 2 temperature sals this year. Fool. So I started this one and was chugging along. And then about March of 2023, I decided, you know what? I should backstitch these. They really pop. Just because I used linen, and the linen is kind of a, neutral color. As you can see, the bottles, you had many, many days where you had the same color over and over again. So you really didn't see the definition of the bottles. So then I decided, I'm going to do? I'm going to backstitch these. So I technically finished this piece in January of this year, like the actual bottles. I finished all the cross stitches on the bottles. But then I had 6 months of backstitching to do. And gosh bless it, I did every single one, even though I kept pulling out stitches because I realized that past Jess, I didn't anchor her cross stitches down, so I would do back stitch and then pull up a thread and have to curse and say, put that thing back where it came from, or so help me. So I finished this and gotta get it. It's just on a hanger right now, a little poster hanger, but I gotta get this framed because, again, another masterpiece, 2023. A good year, maybe, I hope a good year for you. Kind of good year. And I also, for this one, we did do some traveling, so I stitched the temperatures where we were at. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So we were in New York, Niagara Falls area around May. In August, we were down in Tennessee. And then at the end of the year, I was in Las Vegas, but it was also very warm here in Ohio, in the Midwest where I'm from, and it was the same temperature in Las Vegas. So I just didn't really even experience. Certainly didn't bring my swimsuit to December in Las Vegas. So kind of the same temperatures. So that's my wrap up. And my last announcement is it's June 15th, and I will be at StitchCon Weekend B. God willing, if I can get this rendered and up in time so I can say that I'm a FlossTuber, because I said, yeah, I'm a FlossTuber. I'm like, it's like 3 videos, three subscribers. I'm like, I'm a FlossTuber. Yeah, I can do that. So I'm going to be at StitchCon Weekend B. That's going to be a blast. So I'll have my little cards. I do have needleminders if you're going to StitchCon. This weekend, drop a chat and I'll try to find you. I'm going to give out some more needle minders as well. I've got some cool pressed pennies. Also, RIP the penny. I had this great idea for needle minders with pressed pennies, and people go, oh, what a cute idea. And now they're not going to make pennies. So what's going to happen to pressed penny machines? I don't know. But I'll make needle minders for anyone who wants them. So I'll see you guys if you're going there this weekend. If you're not, it's summer. It's starting to become summer. So I want to say to you guys out there, happy 4th of July. Celebrate it, guys. We fought a revolution not to bow to any kings. So celebrate George Washington and Nathaniel Greene and all of our founding fathers who did that. But also happy Canada Day. If you're not celebrating 4th of July, happy Canada Day to you. And happy Bastille Day also to our viewers in France. Fantastic time. And good summer stitching weather to all. I want to say thanks for watching the video. Also want to give a shout out to Cole's Cartoons on Instagram. He made my cute logo there. I had this idea for this like cross stitching cryptid that's like Spring Heel Jack, but kind of like chubby and spooky and chubby, spooky, cute. They did a fabulous job doing that. So I have ideas, but my digital art is not anywhere where it needs to be. So thanks to him for making that. That's now my new logo. And thanks everyone for watching. Again, happy summer stitching wherever you're at. We'll see you next time. See you at StitchCon Weekend B. Bye!